Hello everyone, my name is Jinjos, and welcome to Mission 4 of Bageltop's Marvel Legendary campaign. Last episode we took on Stryfe as he was trying to capture Baby Hope, but we thwarted him successfully. He is at it again though, and we are going to be sending in a team to stop him. If you're interested in following the storyline, I do encourage you to go back and watch Mission 3, as this mission picks up right after that one. Let's not waste any time and jump right in. Mission 4, X-Cutioner Song. When you finally catch up to Stryfe, he appears to be making a public spectacle in a city square, and has captured several of Earth's mightiest heroes, some of which have fought alongside you. Some are restrained, and others appear to be under his control. It is all too clear that he is about to execute them all. Our current team consists of Cable, Domino, Rogue, Colossus, Forge, and Wolverine from the core set. Before we get set up, let's take a look at our hero cards to establish some stronger synergies and to help us decide who will be left behind. First off, we're going to be looking at our common cards, and most importantly, we're looking at what I call standalone cards. These cards don't require any other card to be good. They are on rate in terms of being a sort of French vanilla shield officer. We got Disaster Survivalist, which can help us benefit from a Master Strike, Ready for Anything, that can provide us either 2 attack or 2 recruit, and Strike at the Heart of Evil, which will help us take out the Mastermind faster. Cable coming in strong with 2 standalone cards, something to keep in mind. Disaster Survivalist also has a home in our tech-based archetype of common cards that our heroes provide, with 2 of them coming from Forge that can push out some extra damage in the sewer, or gain us some card advantage. Lucky Break is a good 1-cost card that cantrips and can give either 1 attack or 1 recruit if we play an X-Force hero, a requirement that should be easy to accomplish, as 4 out of the 6 heroes on our team are X-Force members. Our next archetype is going to be our strength-based heroes, that not only deal out a lot of damage through Draw Their Fire and Borrowed Brawn, but also some card advantage through KOing the wounds from Draw Their Fire with Invulnerability and Healing Factor. Healing Factor will also help trigger Keen Senses for some card draw, and Ready for Anything slots in nicely in this archetype. Looking to our last common card, Energy Drain, we unfortunately don't have a way to activate its covert ability at the common level, other than playing a second copy of itself. But it does have some at the uncommon level, such as Silent Statue, Rapid Response Force, and Copy Powers. All 3 of these are quite strong, but with them all being uncommon and 2 of them being at the 6 recruit cost, the power level of Energy Drain does drop significantly. Silent Statue does require a Strength card, which connects to our Strength and Instinct archetype, and in addition to this, Wolverine's uncommon card, Frenzied Slash, fits in very nicely. Our next 2 uncommon cards are Overdrive and Specialized Ammunition, that not only synergize with each other, but also fit nicely into our tech hero archetype. This really gives us 2 distinct decks that our 2 players can work towards, and hopefully they won't be stepping on each other's toes trying to get the cards they need. 1 member of our team does need to be left behind, as we can only bring in 5 heroes. We decided to leave Wolverine behind, which was a really tough decision. Leaving him behind does take a bite out of our card advantage, but I think if we left Domino or Forge behind, we would be crippling the other archetype, meaning we would be scrambling over the same pile of cards. Of note though, as I was editing this episode, I really should have left Rogue behind. It wouldn't weaken the strength archetype by much, and her cover card is hard to trigger. I think I have a blind spot for her, as she is one of my favorite X-Men characters, and her Copy Powers card is so fun to play and very powerful. Now that we have a game plan to take on Stryfe, let's move into setup. As we stated before, our Mastermind today will be Stryfe. He has an HP of 7 that will increase by 1 for each Master Strike played. In addition to this, we must reveal an X-Force hero or discard a card at random. We will be taking on the X-Cutioner song scheme. This scheme has 8 twists, and we will be including a hero inside of the villain deck. Whenever one of these heroes is drawn, they will be captured by the nearest villain, who will get a +2 to their HP, and when we defeat them, we will gain that hero as if we recruited them. When a twist is drawn, all captured heroes will be KO'd, and we will draw another card from the villain deck. Evil will win when 9 non-gray heroes are carried off. As we read through the campaign notes, it looks like Nick Fury will be the hero included in the hero deck. Stryfe will be leading the Mutant Liberation Force, aided by the Marauders, and will be backed up by the Phalanx. First card in our HQ is Dirty Work. This card will grant us 2 attack, and when activated through another tech hero, will give us -2 to the villain in the sewers. Next we have 2 copies of Silent Statue, which grant us 4 attack, and when activated through a strength hero, will grant us 2 more. Next we have Ready for Anything, which grants us Versatility 2, meaning we gain either 2 attack or 2 recruit. Lastly, we have Strike at the Heart of Evil, which grants us 2 attack, plus an additional 2 if we are attacking the Mastermind. Harrison wins the Oreo eating contest and starts us off. Harrison draws 3 agents, 3 troopers, and a Phalanx from the villain deck. This villain has 3 HP, and when fought, we KO a hero with a damage icon, unless we reveal a tech hero. Harrison plays 3 troopers and fights the Phalanx. He KOs one of his troopers. He then plays 3 agents and decides to collect cards in the tech archetype by recruiting Dirty Work, replacing it with Reboot. This card will grant us 2 recruit, and when activated through another tech hero, will allow us to discard a card and to draw 2 cards. He passes. Miles draws 3 agents, 3 troopers, and then a wild side from the villain deck. This villain has 5 HP, and we will have to KO 2 of our heroes if we fight him in the sewers or in the bank. He plays 3 agents and recruits Ready for Anything, replacing it with Overdrive. This card will grant us Versatility 3 when played. He passes. Harrison draws 5 agents, 1 trooper, and a Phalanx from the villain deck. He plays 5 agents and recruits Overdrive, replacing it with another copy of Overdrive. He passes. Miles draws 5 agents, 1 trooper, and a Master Strike from the villain deck. This will increase Stryfe's HP by 1. Miles can't reveal an X-Force hero, and Harrison mistakenly thought he couldn't. Both players randomly discard an agent. He then plays 4 agents and recruits Strike at the Heart of Evil, replacing it with Disaster Survivalist. This card will grant us 2 recruit, and when a Master Strike is played, can be discarded to draw 3 extra cards at the end of the turn. He passes. Harrison draws 2 agents, 2 troopers, Overdrive, and a Scheme Twist from the villain deck. Since there are no captured heroes, we draw 0 from the villain deck. In order to fight 0, we have to discard 3 cards with the cost of 0. Harrison then plays 3 agents and Overdrive for recruit. He recruits another copy of Overdrive, replacing it with Dirty Work. He feels really good about his position right now. He passes. Miles draws 3 agents, 3 troopers, and a Battlefield Promotion from the villain deck. Battlefield Promotion is captured by 0. He then discards 3 agents in order to fight 0, and then 2 troopers will fight him. We take out 0 and recruit Battlefield Promotion. When this card is played, you can KO a shield hero from your hand or discard to gain a shield officer and put it into your hand. He passes. Harrison draws 5 agents, 1 trooper, and a Phalanx from the villain deck. He plays 4 agents and recruits Reboot, replacing it with Overdrive. He passes. Miles draws 3 agents, 1 trooper, Ready for Anything, Strike at the Heart of Evil, and then a Forearm from the villain deck. In order to fight him, we have to reveal 4 heroes with different names. He plays 3 agents and recruits Disaster Survivalist, replacing it with Reboot, trying to dig for some of the core cards in his archetype. He then plays a trooper, Ready for Anything for damage, and Strike at the Heart of Evil. Since we have 4 cards with different names, we take out Forearm. He passes. Harrison draws 3 agents, a trooper, Reboot, Dirty Work, and high-tech weaponry from the villain deck. This card will be captured by the Phalanx in the bank. He plays Dirty Work, and then an activated Reboot. He discards a trooper and draws an Overdrive and an agent. He plays Overdrive for damage and a trooper. He takes out the Phalanx in the bank and recruits high-tech weaponry. He then plays 3 agents and recruits Overdrive, replacing it with Cable's rare card, Army of 1. This card will grant us 5 attack, and then we can KO any number of cards in our hand to grant us 1 attack per card KO'd. He passes. Miles draws 4 agents, a trooper, Battlefield Promotion, and then a Phalanx from the villain deck. He plays Battlefield Promotion, KOing an agent from his hand, and gaining a shield officer. He plays his agents and officer, and recruits Reboot. With not many cards coming his way in a different archetype, he decides to dip his toe into the tech archetype, though recruiting another officer might have been a bit more polite. Reboot is replaced with a copy of Powers, and when this card is played, it becomes a copy of another card you have already played. He passes. Harrison draws 4 agents, 1 trooper, Overdrive, and a Master Strike from the villain deck. Both players reveal an X-Force hero to prevent the discard, but Stryfe's HP will go up by 1. He plays Overdrive for recruit, along with 2 troopers. He recruits copy Powers and replaces it with Invulnerability. This card will give us 2 recruit and can be discarded to counter a wound and also draw 2 cards. He passes. Miles draws 3 agents, 1 trooper, Ready for Anything, Strike at the Heart of Evil, and a Phalanx from the villain deck. He plays out all of his cards, using Ready for Anything for damage. He takes out Wildside for 5, and then recruits Invulnerability, replacing it with Rogue's rare card, Steal Abilities. This card will grant us 4 attack, and when played will cause each player to discard the top card of their deck. The player who played the card will gain a copy of each of those cards discarded. He passes. Harrison draws 2 troopers, an agent, overdrive, reboot, high-tech weaponry, and a scheme twist from the villain deck. No heroes are KO'd, but we do draw a battlefield promotion from the villain deck, which is captured by the Phalanx in the sewers. He plays overdrive for damage, and then plays an activated reboot. He discards a trooper, and draws another trooper and dirty work. He plays an activated dirty work, high-tech weaponry, and 2 troopers for 10 damage total. He hits Stryfe for 9, and draw in Tide of Retribution. Each player can reveal an X-Force hero to prevent the wounds. He then plays an agent, and recruits dirty work, replacing it with Lucky Break. This card will have us draw a card, and when activated by an X-Force hero, will grant us Versatility 1. He passes. Miles draws 3 agents, 2 troopers, Disaster Survivalist, and a Phalanx from the villain deck. He plays an agent, and recruits Lucky Break, which is replaced by Draw Their Fire. He plays another agent to recruit Draw Their Fire, replacing it with another copy of Draw Their Fire. He plays another agent, and recruits Draw Their Fire, replacing it with Rapid Response Force, feeling great about getting 2 cards in the Strength archetype in his deck. He passes. Harrison draws 4 agents, Overdrive, Copy Powers, and a Scheme Twist from the villain deck. We KO the battlefield promotion, bringing the count of heroes carried away to 1. We then draw high-tech weaponry, and the Phalanx in the sewers captures it. He plays out, using Overdrive for recruit, and using Copy Powers to copy Overdrive. He recruits Steel abilities, replacing it with Borrowed Brawn. This card will grant us 1 attack, but when activated by a Strength hero, will give us 3 more. He passes. Miles draws 2 agents, an officer, battlefield promotion, ready for anything, invulnerability, and legendary commander from the villain deck, which the Phalanx in the sewers captures. He plays battlefield promotion, KOing an agent from his hand, and gaining an officer. He plays his hand for a total of 9 recruit. He recruits Army of 1, replacing it with Lucky Break. He then recruits Lucky Break, replacing it with Energy Drain. This card will grant us 2 recruit, and when activated by a covert hero, will also KO a card from our hand or discard pile for another recruit. He passes. Harrison draws 3 agents, Dirty Work, Overdrive, Steel abilities, and a Blockbuster from the villain deck. When he enters, both Blockbuster and the Phalanx in the bank will capture a standard bystander each. He plays Steel abilities, copying an agent from Miles, and an Overdrive from himself for damage. He plays an activated Dirty Work, and hits Stryfe for 9. He draws Psychic Torment. We look at the top 5 cards of our deck, drawing a reboot and discarding the rest. He plays an activated reboot, discarding an agent, and drawing an agent, and Dirty Work. He plays an activated Dirty Work, and Overdrive for damage. He takes out Blockbuster using the 2 activated Dirty Work effects. He then takes out the Phalanx on the rooftops, revealing a tech hero to counter the KO. He plays 3 agents, and recruits Rapid Response Team, replacing it with Energy Drain. He passes. Miles draws 4 troopers, 2 agents, a shield officer, reboot, Strike at the Heart of Evil, and Scalp Hunter from the villain deck. When he enters, he captures a bystander from Harrison's victory pile. He plays Strike and a trooper to take out the Phalanx in the streets, countering the KO by revealing reboot. He then plays out and recruits Silent Statue and replacing it with reboot. He passes. Harrison draws 2 agents, 2 troopers, Overdrive, Copy Powers, and a high-tech weaponry from the villain deck, which Scalp Hunter captures. He plays Overdrive for a damage, and then plays a trooper and Copy Powers targeting Overdrive. He takes out Scalp Hunter and recruits high-tech weaponry. He passes. Miles draws an agent, a shield officer, battlefield promotion, disaster survivalist, invulnerability, Draw Their Fire, and a Scheme Twist from their villain deck. We KO legendary commander and high-tech weaponry, bringing the count up to 3. We then draw battlefield promotion with the villain deck, with the Phalanx capturing it. He plays Draw Their Fire and counters gaining the wound by discarding invulnerability. He draws 2 Lucky Breaks. He plays battlefield promotion, KOing an agent from his hand, and gaining an officer. He plays Lucky Break for recruit and draws an agent. He plays a second Lucky Break for recruit, drawing a Ready for Anything. He plays out his hand, using the Ready for Anything for recruit. He recruits Energy Drain, replacing it with Specialized Ammunition. He recruits Silent Statue, replacing it with Ready for Anything. He passes. Harrison draws 2 agents, a trooper, Overdrive, Dirty Work, high-tech weaponry, and another high-tech weaponry from the villain deck, which the Phalanx captures. He plays a trooper, Overdrive for damage, an activated Dirty Work, and an activated high-tech weaponry. He hits Stryfe for 9 and draws Furious Wrath. We look at the top 6 cards of the villain deck, but fail to find a Master Strike. He passes. Miles draws 3 agents, a Trooper, Army of 1, Draw Their Fire, and Scalp Hunter from the villain deck, who captures a bystander from Harrison's victory pile. He plays Army of 1, KOing all the cards from his hand for 5 extra damage. He hits Stryfe for the 4th and final time, winning the game. 2 mutants, Cyclops and Jean Grey, greet you with tears of joy as you return their child to them, completely unharmed. Cable also seems extremely emotional. Well, as emotional as Cable can get, anyway. The fact that we rescued the infant is wonderful news, but why is he so invested? Maybe that techno-organic virus has spread to his brain. Write down, X-Cutioner's song prevented. We can now switch out any member of our team for an X-Men hero from the core box or any X-Force member. We decide to swap out Wolverine from the core box for the Wolverine from Dark City. This will still provide the ability to KO wounds, but give me a little more variety in hero class. Next, we are going to be swapping out Forge for Gambit. While I do like Forge, he is a very self-contained unit, and I think Gambit will be a generally more helpful hero, and will also synergize with our Dark City Wolverine. Thank you so much for joining me for today's game. Make sure you keep an eye out for our next mission, where we will be answering the call of Professor Charles Xavier and going to the expansion. Remember to like and subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful day.